Hey guys, what's poppin'? I'm Alex from Team 15403 Vision Robotics. I'm making a video about the different part sets for newer teams that are looking to buy a part set for making their robot. I've mainly used Octobotics and Tetrix, so those are the main ones I'll be going through the similarities and differences of. And then at the end, I'll go through a couple of the other part systems. By the way, although both part systems seem different on the box, they both contain relatively the same parts. Uh, they can each build a robot, and they have everything you need. Tetrix is around $700 for a part system. Octobotics is around $1,400, but they're usually on sale for $650. The main qualities of Tetrix are they're usually quicker to build with. They have much thinner channels than other part systems. They have fewer screw holes than a lot of other part systems, which makes guessing where different parts should be placed on it easier, but it gives you less options for how to put different parts together. And also, Tetrix have a bad habit of bending if you put them under too much pressure. And you may have to put in research to find the part you need if you need to order a specific part for Tetrix. So, Octobotics is, they come with nylock nuts, which are harder to screw in, but once you get a nylock nut in, it's very hard to get out. So that's good for building a competition robot. They have very wide channels. They also have a lot of different screw holes, which is a lot of different options for when you're putting parts together. The parts are more resistant to wear and tear than Tetrix and a lot of other part systems in general. The motors that come with their part systems are Go Builder motors. These are widely considered some of the best motors for FTC on the market right now. And Octobotics also has an online store named Servo City. So if you look up a part, it's almost certainly going to be on Servo City for a reasonable price. Our team personally decided to switch from Tetrix to Octobotics, but some teams might be better suited for Tetrix. There are a lot of pros to them too. Here's a couple of other part systems I've heard about through the internet. IndyMark, they have built-in gearboxes for their motors, which means you don't have to use many gears for getting different gear ratios. This can be useful for kind of fitting a lot of motor-related parts into one area. They can be very expensive compared to different part systems, and they have less options for the lengths of a lot of parts, and you will probably need to cut them down, which is a little daunting for newer people, so you're going to have to get a saw and cut the pieces apart. Go as I mentioned before, they have some of the best motors. They have parts specifically designed for FTC, and they use special clamping screws, which are really good. Rev Robotics, they use extrusions, which are like big long pieces of metal instead of channels, which they have a lot more options for mounting it across the extrusion, but they don't have any variability for up and down how you mount parts on. They have a really good linear slide that you might want to use even if you're using a different part system. And extrusions like IndyMark's channels are often going to need to be cut down if you want to use them in your robot. Also, there have been complaints about their screws being less secure than other system screws. Keep in mind that if you see a part in another part system that you really like, you can always use adapters, though it might be a little bit clunkier to use that part. For some of the systems that I didn't know much about. I'd like to credit Team 13380 Quantum Stingers, and I used a lot of their guide to make my guide for like the Andy Mark and the Rev and stuff. If you have any questions, we have our email down below in the description, and all of the part systems that I talked about we have linked to.